This is a phrase you hear rolled out at so many conferences. It's in blog posts, it's in books. Pastors quoted all the time. Healthy churches grow. And it's completely wrong. Let me tell you that unhealthy things grow. Cancer grows. Weeds in your garden grow. And I've even seen an unhealthy church was growing that was seemed to be a vibrant place of revival. But once you look underneath the surface, my goodness, it was so unhealthy. I'm going to help you understand why healthy churches grow. That phrase is actually damaging to church leaders and pastors. I'm going to teach you a better axiom, a better proverb than just healthy churches grow. And I'll give you one step you can take right now to position your church for growth. Now, I think the phrase healthy churches grow is so damaging because if you go, hey, my church is growing, therefore it's healthy, I think it can lower you into a false sense of security. You can think, man, because the numbers are up, attendance is up, or maybe more people are joining the church. Who knows? There's growth around. Therefore, hey, we must be healthy. Not always true. The opposite also is damaging because if my church is not growing, well, therefore it must be unhealthy. If healthy churches grow, my church is stalled, my church is plummeted, maybe even declined a bit, man, it must be unhealthy. That's not always true. And I think there's a far better axiom. There's a far better proverb because I've seen pastors damaged by this thought. Well, my church is growing, therefore it must be healthy. And they don't look to see how they can improve health. They just think growth equals health. Or if they're kind of down in the dumps, they're thinking, oh, my church isn't growing at all. It must be really unhealthy. I'm trying everything to make it healthy, but you know what? The attendance is the same. That word, we're stalled, we're stuck, we're plateaued. And so they can get really, I know pastors can get really upset, can really get quite anxious and concerned that they think, well, if healthy churches grow, my church must be unhealthy. But here's a better axiom. Healthy churches grow to their optimum size. Now, I like this axiom, this proverb. I created it because I got so frustrated with just the anxiety, almost the depression of producing classes. Healthy churches grow. My churches are growing. It's got to be unhealthy. I go, no, hang out a little bit. Let's just slow down. Yeah, let's calm down. Let's get some of that non-anxious presence into your leadership here. Healthy churches grow to their optimum size. So whenever I use this proverb, this saying that I roll out, and I've spoken at conferences and written in blog posts about it, people will invariably ask me, I say, well, how do I know what my optimum size is? I say, well, there's a threefold way for you to work out this axiom. What is the optimum size of your church? So I think there are three ways to assess your church's optimum size. The first one is the call. What is the call of Jesus to your church? Are you called to be a mega church with a large footprint impacting your region, your community, not just the places around your church, but maybe even internationally and nationally? You're called to lead a large mega church with a footprint. Or maybe the call of your church is to be what is a normative size, 70 or 80 or 90 or 100 people on Sunday morning is pretty normative today around the world. Mega churches dominate because they're able to publish in a big way. Their pastors write, their pastors are on YouTube, they're blogging, they're out there, they're speaking at conferences. But your normative churches, the huge majority of churches are the normative size, 50 people, 100 people, 150 people on a Sunday morning. But what is your call? What does Jesus want you to do? I love the story of John and Peter, where Jesus tells Peter in John 21, hey, Lord, what's going on here? And this is what's going to happen with you, Peter. And Peter turns around and sees John, says, Lord, what about him? Tell me what's going on. What about him? The Lord says to him, basically, well, what is that to you if I let him live until kingdom comes? What is that to you? It's a great question. If someone gets blessed differently to your church, what is that to you? It's a great question to wrestle with. It's a great question to think and ponder on. Well, what if that church down the road grows to 500? We're kind of stuck on 150. 75. What is that to you? And answering that question will help you process what is the call of God on your life, pastor, church leader. What's the call of God on your life? What's the call on your church? Wrestle with that. I think it's important. And Jesus ultimately says to Peter, follow me. Don't worry about the other guy. Don't worry about John. Don't worry about where he's going, what he's doing. You follow me. And I think that's a great sense to frame up your ministry life afresh. The second aspect, I believe, of healthy churches grow to their optimum size. First, the call. The second is the context. What's your context? Are you in a large city with a lot of migration, migrants coming in from Christian countries? That there you've got real opportunities for growth because you've got the population base. Maybe you're in a town of 3,000 people. That's an immediate limit on your growth. It's very rare for you to grow large churches in small towns of 2,000 or 3,000 people. What's your context? Are you near an area that is a forest, that is bushland? We call it in Australia Class A reserve bush that will never be built on. Our church is situated actually next to Class A reserve bush, so the actual suburbs around our church are quite limited by a freeway and then also a Class A reserve bush that will never have housing on it. So the number of people that are actually able to access our church is limited compared to a church that's in the middle of a thriving, growing suburban residential area. Maybe your church is on an ocean, like I live by the ocean. If your church is right near the beach, really, a whole lot of fish coming to your church. You might only have half the catchment area of a church that's 20 minutes inland. And I think you need to think of your context. Is your context a retirement town? There's a lot of older people who don't really want to engage with faith. Is it full of students who are busy with their studies, but there's a way to reach them? I don't know. What is your context? Working that out, thinking that through will really help you, I think, in terms of positioning your church for growth. And here's the last one. And this is the one you can have control over because you can't really control your call. That's up to Jesus. You can't control the context. That's where you are, unless you move your church. But the last one you can control, capacity. What is your capacity as a church leader, as a pastor? Then you can grow your capacity. You get some coaching, get some mentoring. You can dive into an area of study to enlarge your heart. You can be mentoring others, which is always going to grow yourself. You're going to throw yourself into leadership development in your church. You're going to try some new things in your church. You're going to work on your own health, on your own well-being, your own fitness, exercise, and diet program. You can shift your emotional, mental, spiritual, physical capacity. You can seek the Lord, prayer and fasting. You can wait on the Lord. You can believe God. You can lift your faith. All these things are capacity areas that you have a say in. So, Pastor, what are you doing to lift your capacity? What are you doing to grow a healthy church to its optimum size? So there you go. Think about those three things about my proverb, healthy churches grow to their optimum size. And down in the description, there's a 3-minute quiz I want you to take about how well positioned is your church for growth. This 3-minute quiz, you'll get it done and dusted in 3 minutes. You'll get some fabulous feedback. You'll get some of my resources that you can dive into that will really help you grow a healthy church to its optimum size. God bless you.